Yo, 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 good people. It's your homie HerbMan. Let's see you back upside the head with another hot banger. Look at, please go tell somebody, your homie HerbMan is on. And if you're new to the program, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please follow, like, share, subscribe on all the platforms at Love HerbMan. All right, so I am your homie HerbMan. I'm your neighborhood holistic practitioner. Welcome to the HerbMan Show. All we do here is teach people how to heal themselves. And you cannot heal yourself if you do not know thyself, all right? So we teach you here about the human frame and the human design so that you guys can be well on your way to happiness, wholeness, and wellness, all right? So if you guys don't know, you can go over there to YouTube as well and follow us, man. We know that today is Sunday. We know that it's Father's Day. We know that you guys may be busy today, so we're going to let you guys come on in and kind of file on in here before we get started. All right, this is free information. All you got to do to pay for this information is simply pay attention. How you pay attention is by double tapping that screen and getting us up to 100K likes. All right, that's our goal for the day is 100K. If you keep tapping, I'll keep talking. I promise you, I won't hold you. Okay. Once we get to 1,000 likes, we'll get into the subject matter at hand. All right. For all you guys that don't know me, I am the guy talking about the owner's manual. The owner's manual serves as a guide for you so that you can get the optimal performance out of your body, the longevity out of your body, and the optimal usage out of your body that you needing, wanting, and deserving. Okay. So that's all this is about. The owner's manual gives you, it serves as a guide to help you with the optimal usage, optimal performance, and longevity out of your body. And it also serves as a guide for service technicians who are service technicians. Service technicians are people like your therapist, your psychologist, your doctor, your pastors, your rabbis, your imams. All right. These are people that you some kind of way employ, some kind of way, whether it's free or not, their services to do technical problems and repairs on your life. So the owner's manual would also serve as a guide for those as well. But it make the things a lot easier to repair, a lot of things easier to understand. So that's what we do here. And we do that all by your funky birthday, okay? We do not need your blood type, blood sample, hair sample, stool sample, urine sample. We don't need a skin scrape. We're not gonna prick you, prod you, poke you. It's non-invasive, non-intrusive type information that you're gonna get. But it's going to be about the duality of life, bringing you closer to nature, understanding your sun signs, understanding your herbs, your foods, and everything like that. All right. So now, with all that being said, if you're interested in getting your owner's manual, please DM me. We'll get you the information thus far. All right. Now, for a lot of you guys that are going to church today, we want to, say Happy Father's Day to all you guys out there. Every day is Father's Day, like every day is Mother's Day, like every day is a child's day. Okay. But at the end of the day, what you're going to read about is a book about the sun. Okay. Now you call that sun SON, and that's fine. I ain't mad at you for calling it the SON, but do understand that you're putting a human-like quality in natural. Okay, it was a natural deity that you personified and put human-like quality on this natural deity. So I ain't got no problem with that as long as we do come to some consensus that you actually are talking about the sun. Okay, the SUN. Now I'm gonna let you get away with calling it the SON, and even letting you get away with calling it a he and a boy for right now. But you must understand to move forward that you have personified a natural deity called the sun, the SUN. Okay. Now, this ain't a bad thing. Before we go any further, this is not a bad thing. The only bad thing about you missing this quality and this understanding and this in-depthness of information, even at the beginning of my spiel, if it went over your head or if you missed it, the reason why you're missing it, that's the real problem. The problem ain't you calling it the sun like a little boy. The problem ain't you understanding that it was the sun. The problem ain't that. Is the problem is that you're not understanding the qualities that come out of knowing that it's the Son. See, because it ain't about, if folk be like, well, I knew Kobe, I knew LeBron, but you gotta know them to know 'em, right? It's not just something to just say I know LeBron exists, but it's a little more if I be at the family reunion. So what's got to happen is that there is a quality that comes with knowing somebody and knowing something. And you are pronouncing and professing to know the Son, but don't know what life season you in. You're professing to know the Son, but don't know that you got two sons inside it. You're professing to know the Son, but don't know what kind of Son foods to eat. You're professing to know the Son, but don't know what kind of Son herbs to take. You're professing to know the Son, but don't know that the lack of the Son of God in your life will cause you physical tendencies. See, you claim to know the Son, but don't understand that the lack of the knowledge of the Son of God can cause you spiritual tendencies. See, but you are claiming to be solar power. Y'all keep on tapping, I keep on talking. See, but you're claiming to be solar power. Even if you ain't sitting out in the sun and you going in there talking about Jesus, you are claiming to be solar power. Even if you is going somewhere talking about Krishna or Buddha, you are claiming to be a sun worshiper, to be a sun follower, to be a disciple of the sun. You're claiming to be one with nature, to be one with your nature. You're claiming to have this knowledge in and out of church. And I say out of church because some of you guys don't go to church but claim you know this stuff, but then still don't know how to heal yourself. Now, would you say, is it everybody's responsibility to heal themselves, or only a few people should heal everybody? What you think? What say you? Should everybody have the ability to heal themselves, or should it be one person that can heal everybody? Come on, somebody. Everybody have the ability to heal themselves, or should it just be one person for everybody? Fair enough. Let's get it. Keep tapping that screen, you guys. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it. Should everybody have the ability to heal themselves, or should it be one person for everybody? Everyone should heal themselves, right? We got a consensus here that everyone should have the ability to heal themselves. That is what you're ultimately getting in your owner's manual. Okay? That's what you're ultimately getting in your owner's manual. If you've ever questioned the owner's manual or just trying to figure out what is it that we're offering, it's this power back into your own hands that you should have the ability to heal yourself. You should have the ability to have the parts and the specifications and all this stuff on you. Don't just give me no birth certificate now. You might well go on and give me the rundown on me. I got a tendency to smoke a little trees. I got a tendency to drink a little something. I got a tendency to get a little mad. I got a tendency to work all day. I got a tendency to have a little sex more often than most folk. I got a tendency for this. I got a tendency for that. Go on, get it to me. Just give me all my little stuff and then let me go and walk away with my little handbook on me. That's what you're getting with the owner's manual. Okay? We're putting that power back into the hands of our people saying, yo, look, it's time out for guesswork. That 40-year-old doctor don't know nothing about your 60-year-old body. That Indian doctor don't know nothing about your African American body. I'm sorry. That white doctor don't know nothing about your body. And vice versa. And so you're asking for measurements and averages to quantify your health. Repeat that one more time for some folks in the back. You're asking for measurements and averages to quantify your health. That if you measure this, or if it measured to that, or if it was in this range of numbers, then it's supposed to do X, Y, and Z. But what if I told you that everybody's not the same? So when we're talking about being solar power, and you're talking about being a disciple of the Son of God, and you're reading the Helios Biblios, which is the Sun book, and you're not understanding that the Sun is in reference to your mind, and how the mind can either be see, fire has two different qualities. How many of you know that fire had two different qualities? See, fire is a destructive quality in fire, and there's a constructive quality in fire. Fire will burn something down, but you can also use fire to build something up. You can use fire to build weaponry and mold iron and build glass and all this other type of stuff. Fire is a construction when it comes to glass and iron and weaponry and all these other metals that you need. It becomes destructive in nature when it becomes something to a lot of the other material. So then it's all in how you utilize and understand what you're reading and seeing is going to be at the precipice of how you get through. It's how you view this. Some people can see this as the infinity sign. Some people can see this as the cloth that hangs over that cross in the churchyard. Some people can see this as wings. Some people can see this as you standing in the middle. Some people can see this as the sun eclipsed. Some people can see this as the yellow brick road. People can see this or as that. It's all about how you perceive it. But at the end of the day, it doesn't mean a hill of beans if you believe it or not. If it is there, it is there. So if you don't want to believe this, it does not take away the valuability of it existing. You can believe that I ain't there, it's still you breathing. You can believe that your feet ain't there, you're still walking. So believe it or not doesn't take away the effectiveness of this information. Believe it or not does not take away the effectiveness of this particular system of believing in it or not does not erase or eradicate or take away from its effectiveness. We can use this as a tool and as a resource to put the solar power people back on track with the sun. So what happens here? What happens here is that you never get off track. You just get stagnated on the tracks. See, because there's really no way off the track. But the thing that you can do is deny by delay. So on this yellow brick road, there's no way to come off of the track. But there is a way to stagnate, pause, stop. You will only deny yourself due to the delay. Because this thing is a pace type of texture. You must pace yourself along this dichotomy in order to make it to 120 years old. If you run down the physical interim is your body. If you run down the physical while being in the physical, not understanding how to balance the duality between the spiritual and the spiritual context, the physical and the spiritual context, then you will wear down the physical body. Everybody put some ones in the chat to get what I just said. I need to make sure that you guys are following me. I need to make sure that you guys are there. Okay. So if you are saying that you are solar powered, that you are worshiping Jesus Christ, Christianity is solar powered religion. Okay, Muhammad Islam is a solar powered religion. Buddhist idea are solar powered. Krishna is a solar powered religion. Okay. So in order to be solar powered, you must be powered by the sun. Now, again, let me repeat this two more times before I get in the back. You cannot get off the track. The only way you can deny yourself on this track is by delay. There are always for you to delay yourself. Okay. And one delay is that you don't realize your seasons. When you don't realize your seasons, you begin to go through the season in a more slower pace. Let's say this season right here, which it is. This is Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. It makes up spring. Everybody with me? Put some twos in the chat if y'all are following. I want to make sure you guys are following. All right. Give a little bit of light in here. I want to make sure you guys are following. Welcome on in, YouTubers. Let's get it. Welcome on in. I got to make sure you get this, okay? It's very important that we get what we're listening to. Because again, this is the most important thing to, I think, to humanity that we're able to bring here on a free space like TikTok and YouTube and all these other platforms, Facebook and Twitter. We're using free marketing, free advertisement, okay, to get this to the masses. Right? Let me just say that off the rip. We're using free advertisement. We don't have to have a commercial. We don't have to have a radio. We don't have to have a billboard. We're not trying to be in one place as far as being in this place or that place. We're trying to make sure that we're mobile and we're remote. We're coming live from South Africa right now. So this is a very big deal, okay, that I'm teaching you guys. But we want to make sure that we understand that this is how we market this to humanity. Is they gonna need probably so, but who cares, right? This is about getting the word out about an ancient understanding of how to take health back into your own consideration, but you must know nature in order to get back in tune, in order to really get you where it really is going to work for you. So now, again, Aries, Taurus, and Gemini, these 3 months make up what we would consider to be spring. Now, spring is a time of life. It's a time of life. It's not just a 3 month season. But that's how they got you fooled because you're so much concerned with the microcosm that you don't understand it from the macro. So how is it as above, so below if you don't understand above? Then you'll never get below. Okay? So now with that being said, let's keep it moving. So now Aries, Taurus, and Gemini, right, which is March, April, and May are making up this particular thing that you call spring. But you don't know the spiritual implications to spring. Springtime is a time of growth and development. Okay? Maybe a time of new things popping into your life, new experiences, learning things about oneself, about material realm, about the people around you that means the most to you, your siblings, all this stuff. That's normally what springtime is about. And developing one sense of self. That's Aries. Growing and developing your sense of the material realm, what matters to you, what you value the most. That's Taurus. Growing and developing your communication skills with the people around you or your peers, aka your brothers and sisters or your co-workers or the people closest to you doing something in life that you're doing. That's Gemini. But here's the thing. You don't know that spring is doing that to you. So therefore, you don't understand what's going on with you and your self-identity. And you fight it. In that season, you start to slow the pace of how you learn this lesson. Okay? Because now the lesson taking longer than what it's supposed to do for you to learn. Then you move into Taurus season, and you don't know that this is your season to understand your value system, understand to you what matters to you the most. We're not just talking about material possessions, we're talking about matters, things that matter. Okay, your Taurian phase, putting things around you that matter, getting your values in. Spring is about growing and developing these qualities as you move through these particular seasons of life. You don't know them, and so you stagnate your particular journey through these seasons because you don't know that you're in spring. Same thing that you're doing to yourself in the summer, same thing you're doing to yourself in the fall and into the winter. So again, can you get off track? No. But can you deny yourself due to delay? Yes. Okay. Now, the one big point that I'm trying to make to you today is that you can heal yourself because nature is that as an example. And I use nature as an example in order to prove and also in order to open your mind up about possibilities. Because if you want to get back into nature, you must take nature's example. So winter is resting or healing time for the planet, the winter time. The winter time is the healing and resting time for the planet. So since the healing and the resting time for the planet is winter, then we know that there is a place for rejuvenation. There is a season of rebuilding and reconstructing. That there is a moment in time where you can rebuild and reconstruction and reconfigure because the planet does it. See, what I'm trying to get you to see is that I'm pulling all of the examples of how nature, nature. We're pulling all of the examples of how to understand this human design, nature. We're pulling all of our understanding of everything that we've ever collected as far as information back into this old calculation that we call nature and allow it to spit out the chart. Allow it to spit out which direction we need to go. Trusting back into this life in the first place. That's nature. And you can go back into nature in a few different ways. Some people could read crystals, and crystals is what they call timekeepers. They preserve time. So you can read a crystal and tell how old the crystal is. Tree trunks had the life rings on them, right? So we have different things where we can understand how things can capture time. And getting back in tune with nature will allow you to capture time. Now, what was the fallibility of the people before us? The people before us did not understand the emphasis of the physical body. We do now. We exercise a little more, and we're doing a little bit more bodybuilding, a little bit more just body movement than what they did back in the day. But they still did not understand the gurus, the yogis, all those people had this ancient information, but they did not quantify in high regard the physical realm. Everybody wanted to get over into the spiritual. So they would fast and they would starve their bodies to death. So therefore, even though they tapped into the spiritual consciousness, they didn't have a body to come back to. They left their bodies. So you've never had somebody to say how this actually feels going over here, coming back, because they didn't understand the value of body preservation. And what I mean about body preservation ain't mummification when you die, but rather preventative maintenance on the body while you yet live. Body preservation has always been one of the biggest things and commodities to us because of a simple thing that y'all don't really understand and probably have never read. But in order to get back to the planet in which we came from, based on the people before us, you had to go back alive. The thing was death, which is the demon of this realm, is going to try to get you not to go back alive. So what I try to teach people is that I don't chase disease, I'm chasing death. Death is a consciousness. And when you have a consciousness that's seated in you to think that you're supposed to leave you after you just going to church a while ago talking about everlasting life, everlasting life, oh, everlasting life, oh, everlasting light, everlasting light. Over there singing a lie. You don't believe in no goddamn everlasting life. You see? So when I give you these stories, you can't fathom it, quantify it, but then you can read it in the book telling you the same thing, but in a different way. I'm telling you that where you come from, you're supposed to make it back there alive. But there is a thing called the death consciousness here that wants to get you before you go. The whole thing about this is to be able to make it back in your body. How in the world can you live to be 120, 240 with all this oxidation? Antioxidants. Antioxidants are the very thing that's necessary. Because this thing here that I've been teaching you guys about the pineal gland, what comes out of the pineal gland? What is produced in the pineal gland? Somebody tell me something. I'll start with an M. What is produced out of the pineal gland? Okay. What is produced out of the pineal gland? Anybody know where my scholars at on it? Because when I call you solar powered, I want you to understand how deep this goes. Okay. So K. Gates said melanin. We'll get to that in a second, but it's actually melatonin. Okay. Melatonin, right? So melatonin, Queen G-Monk got that perfectly correct. So melatonin is one of the most highest antioxidant substances in the body. Hey. And guess how you get melatonin? Melatonin is not only the most highest antioxidant, but because of the antioxidant functionality of melatonin, it's a cancer killer. And you ain't even ate nothing yet. You ain't even took HerbMan herbs yet. And that's why this owner's manual thing for your little funky measly $50 is probably the biggest investment you ever make. Because that's what we're trying to do is get you to understand that it's not about a product. Nobody has for you what you're looking for. It ain't in the pill, it ain't in the herbs, it ain't in this, it's in you not knowing how you operate. And you having to get a better hold on you. I ain't got no herb for you when you the problem. You the problem. You got something for my high blood pressure. It's you the problem. And it's your life that's the problem. And until you start making decisions that's going to be fruitful to your health is going to be a problem. Everybody got a goddamn pill for you when you the problem. That's need doctors for impossible shit. That's an herbalist for impossible things. So when you get this owner's manual, you get your ass whooped in the spirit. We're going to do that. And excuse my par French. Okay? So now you have this high power antioxidant that you automatically being produced in melatonin. Okay. And we're talking about solar power. Solar power says that you need to be powered by the sun. There is a light sensitivity mechanism in you that is sensitized to light. In other words, it is on when light is on and it is off when light is off. Right? And so when it turns off, when light goes off, melatonin gets produced. So then now we find that when the solar power go off, the melatonin comes on. So now that we find that when the sun go down, the healing then begins. So now that we find that when the sun goes down, winter of life, the planet rests and heals in the winter. Now we know that when the sun go down, melatonin, the healing mechanism of your body, is not in a herb. It's in you. It's called melatonin. That's your healer. And it can be produced by what? Rest, relaxation, sleep, and meditation. You'll fundamentally, as you continue to keep watching me, begin to understand that to follow Jesus, to follow the Son of God, to follow the Son of God, you must not only understand how powerful you got to be by day, but also understand how powerful you got to be by night. See, the optimal time for a flashlight is during the night, during the dark time, during the dark age, the dark moment. And these dark moments are traumas, traumatic events, incidents and accidents, diagnosis of late stage issues. All of these life buffers that come in and alter and change us some kind of way. We need to be able to circumvent a little bit better than what we've been doing. And the best way to circumvent the unknown in this paradigm is to heighten your intuitive skill, to heighten your spiritual awareness. And what we're teaching you in this owner's manual is how to navigate this system this way so that you can start to share the space. Some stuff that you're dealing with here are spiritual. You can't win it with your body. I wish somebody would have heard that. See, it's some stuff that you just ain't gonna win with your human intellect or human strength. There are some things that you're going to go through here in this paradigm to where you ain't going to be smart enough or strong enough to fight it. But there are things in you that can still win it, but you got to know how to activate it. If your body is weak, how can you use the body to? If your body is weak, how can you use the energy of the body to heal it, to heal itself? But there is something inside of you that can still do it. You got to know how to switch off electricity and switch on the solar panel. I almost danced when I said they did, y'all. See, you got to know how to switch over from gas to solar power. See, you got to know how to switch off from to something unnatural and supernatural within you. See, because when you ain't got physical strength, how in the hell you gonna beat cancer and cancer beating you? But there's a switch. You got to switch over. That's why I'm playing with you. Keep tapping that screen. I keep tapping you guys. Y'all know I'm playing with you, man. Happy Father's Day to all you guys out there. We love you. You are the true sons of God, all right? The true manifestations of the womb of creation, all right? We're going to get this thing right, sons and daughters. We're going to get this thing right, man. We got to. It's our enemies, Sarah. At the end of the day, if you are ready and willing, back in tune with nature, I can show you how to heal yourself of all manner of diseases. No joke, no fraud, no faking, no pimp, no plan. All for a funky, measly $50. Right? All right. Switch off electricity to solar power. Yeah, because see, this is my thing to you. This is what we're teaching and we're bringing to the game. When you are weak in the body, how can you ask of it anything more? I'm weak in the body, but I need for it to heal itself. It ain't got no energy, sis. I'm weak in the body, but I need for it to bounce back. It ain't got no energy. So you got to know how to switch from your physical, from your electricity to your solar power. Your magnetic is electromagnetic. Everybody just know how to use their little electrical shock pistol to make things pop. You so sold on expedient results that the electric side of you brings. that you're really not comfortable and fun with the slow motion, but the surety of the magnetic side of you. Yeah, the electric is fast, but you fuck up a lot. The magnetic is slow, but it's more for sure. But you'll take them little fuck ups to just keep working with your quick results in your electricity, baby. You want to burn the body out. So if I need to preserve or conserve more electrical energy in my body, then I had to switch off of electricity and switch on to the solar power. I have to switch off intellect and switch on intuition. I had to switch off facts and switch on faith. Uh-huh. I have to switch off what I think and switch on what I know. You see? So when you're going down that road today, talking about what you believe in and know, understand that you can't go in there and come back out the same way no more. You can't keep going down to the church house, going in with high blood pressure and coming out with high blood pressure and then still being okay with that. You ain't gonna keep on going down there with diabetes and keep coming out with the same metformin in your arm. It won't be the same no more. You're gonna keep walking down there in the doors of the church and walking out with that same cancer stage 4. See, it's gonna be on your mind now. Why am I not changing? Knowing good and God will that I want to, that I'm praying to, that I'm trying, I'm fasting, I'm searching, I'm looking, I'm doing all these things. Why it ain't working? Because you haven't been taught the duality of yourself. And for a funky measly little $50, this is what we're teaching you. The dualities of self, how they can start to conflict your healing mechanism, how they can start to be as a veil and cloud your perspective. Because in all honesty, this is masculine and feminine energy, and masculine energy want to run the course as long as you allow it. It doesn't want to give up its power of control over your decision making. So masculine energy will always throw a wrench in the feminine energy, not to get no time in this system that we call the life path. Your rest, your relaxation, and your sleep and your meditation has to come out of a contentment that you start to breathe in this paradigm. Now, let me tell you something. How many of you can be content with nature? No, you can't. First of all, how many of you ever even understood what contentment on nature really means? Only a few people on here that would understand. If you are a farmer and you're solely relying on your garden or your farm to eat, then you've seen some contentment. If you are a farmer or a gardener and you're solely relying on what you grow to eat, what you're producing, you are content. If you're solely relying on animals, you don't eat unless you hunt something. You are relying on contentment. If you're solely relying on fishing, you don't eat unless you catch a fish. You are learning contentment. If you are building your house and you ain't got no house unless you build the house, then you are practicing contentment. You see what I'm saying? Because you are waiting on nature's results. You're waiting on nature. When you wait on nature, when you understand a little bit better, and now the journey through spring is more of a contentment. I know what spring is going to be, so I'm content with the life lesson. It's the uncontentment with the life lesson. It's the fighting against the season. It's the fighting against the waves. It's the fighting against God that you claim. It's the fighting against because of your lack of knowledge that's causing you to flutter in the ocean of life. And I gave you guys an example of when I was in the Navy in boot camp, to where when we jump off the ledge of a 40-meter kind of a diving board or whatnot, you just cross your arms and step out. The thing about it is, people thought, well, I could dog paddle for 5 minutes to pass this test, because you just got to float for 5 minutes. But you realize that a minute or two into the dog paddling, that you ain't gonna make it 5 minutes dog paddling. It was incumbent upon them to learn how to. You'll see that during stormy times, it was incumbent upon us to rest. So that when you hear about the Bible and they're talking about them being in the boat and they went through the storm, that wasn't a real story about men being in the boat going through a storm. It was talking about the calmness of the mind during the rageousness of the seasons of life. And the thing that I'm teaching you today is one of the best personifications of a solar power deity is contentment. Contentment. Contentment can find you. Contentment can find you rest. Contentment can find you relaxation. It allows you to breathe a little, rest a little, take the load off. The thing that we're not doing. The thing that we're not doing. Okay. So that melatonin is an antioxidant. It's the one that will reduce the age. Okay, it's the anti-aging, anti-cancer, immune system booster. All of this is through melatonin, which you get through rest, relaxation, sleep, meditation. Also, this is a spiritual context of intuition. From resting, relaxing, sleeping, and meditating, that means I ain't doing a whole lot. That means there ain't a whole lot for me to do. If you stop bulldozing all your trees down, you'll have the apple trees and the blackberries and all that stuff that we used to. You'll see that you're in a utopia full of food. You'll see that you're in a utopia full of food if you stop ravaging your environment. So then, yeah, you would rest, relax, sleep, and meditate most of the time, because there is no desire, there is no lack. There's no lack. And when there's no lack, there's no need to snack. And snacking is all about snacking on those things which you know are not necessarily going to be conducive to your health. Yeah, I used to think me going all day with a superpower, knowing how to rest is the real superpower. Yeah, a lot of people don't understand it. A lot of people don't understand about this rest. So what we're teaching in this paradigm is the lessons of life all wrapped up into a few different things. Okay, that's what we're teaching. The lessons of life all wrapped up into this particular thing right here. Remember that we know what you do based on your disease. Yes, HerbMan, this is what I'm here daily for months now, still learning every day. Yeah, and it's all a process, right? It's all a process of how to follow the sun's path, right? How to follow the sun's path. But what I'm trying to get you to see is really two types of characteristics in order for you to be a great disciple. The following the path, first of all, to know the path is one of the best things that you can do. right? So you get to know the path, to know that you're on a path, to know that there's a path to have to understand and know, right? So that's to know the path. Secondly, then it would be to be content with the life lessons that the path gives you. Okay. So for instance, somebody may be on here right now. I got 140, 150 people onto the live. Let's keep tapping, you guys. Let's get us up to 100K. All right. Let's get us up to 100K. You keep tapping, I keep talking. What's up to my YouTubers out there? Happy Father's Day. Thank you, Miss Rhonda Pennington. All right. Go tell somebody your homie HerbMan is on. All right. So look, real quick. Somebody give me a birthday real quick. Somebody give me a birthday real quick. It doesn't matter if you're young or old. I just need it. So what I want you to do is not only don't just give me your birthday. Give me your zodiac sign and your age. That's what I want. I want your zodiac sign and your age, real quick. Your zodiac sign and your age. Okay, real quick. And I'm finna show you how easy it is to quantify at in life. This is where you're really gonna get the kicks and giggles out of this thing, right? So Cookie Barrel. So Cookie Barrel said he's a Libra that's 40 years old. Okay. A Libra that's 40 years old. All right. So Sakuki, you right here. Now your starting point is always going to be your destination. Okay. So this is where you got to back up at. This is 120 years old, which is what we're promoting here. And this is everlasting life, because once you reach 120 healthy, then you'll know how to do 240, 360, and now we've reached everlasting life. Why can't we live everlasting? Because HerbMan is teaching us how to take the stress off of the physical and tap into the spiritual. Let's repeat that one more time. How is it that we can live everlasting life, HerbMan? Because HerbMan's owner's manual, going back to nature with only your birthday. We don't need your blood type. We don't need no doctor's diagnosis. We don't need no blood sample, no self-diagnosis. We don't need no urine sample. We don't need no live culture. We don't need none of that from you. We ain't gonna prick you, harm you, or poke you. We ain't gonna invade you in no kind of way. This is non-intrusive, non-invasive. All we need is your birthday. And we're gonna show you how to take the stress off the physical, but also we're going to show you how to activate the spiritual, because that's the part that you need to know. Now, this brother Sakuku is a 40-year-old Libra, 10, 20, 30, 40, okay? Right? So at 40 years old, we're going to put you in Aquarius right here. So you're in Aquarius. You're at that point right now. I'm talking about right now as we speak. You're at that point to where you just came out of a major career thing going on in Capricorn. Okay. So if you're 40, between 30 and 40 years old, you was dealing with your legacy. You was dealing with your work career, what you wanted to do in your job, what you wanted to do to stabilize your life. Now, for some odd reason, when you turn 40 years old, trying to give you community activist, community leader, and you're in your humanitarian phase, and that's what's going on with you. Period. If you don't fight it, then you're good. But you're in the winter of life. Now, y'all just seen him right there. What he say? I don't know him. I don't know if it's a him or her, but affirmative. Easy work. Brother could have easily, a female could have easily been like, but you lying like a motherfucker. Her. She could have easily been like, fuck, especially her would have been like, this nigga lying. Right? But she just doing a free for all and just trying to see, what are you talking about here, right? We're hitting it on the head every time. Okay. Now, the whole objective to this, though, Miss Lady, is for you to go all the way around this circle and come back to your leader. That's the purpose. That's the purpose. And the real focus is that you can't do it just in the physical alone. So if you don't learn this spiritual journey, you're gonna die just like the rest of us. You're gonna be just like the rest of us. Point blank, bottom line. The only way to stop this physical progression, this physical oxidation, this physical deterioration is to activate your spiritual consciousness. Spiritual activation can stop physical deterioration. Spiritual activation can stop physical deterioration. Spiritual activation can stop, pause physical deterioration. But if you're physically deteriorated, you can't ask for the physical to do much more than what its ability to do. So you guys are asking for your bodies to heal itself without giving it the proper energy to do so. If the body is run down by a disease, the only way it will heal itself is if it's energized enough to do that task. Even if you ask for the detox requires energy. It requires energy. Healing requires energy. So any little task that you're trying to give a depleted, debilitated body is going to be the wrong way you come at healing. So you give your body the things that it's needed. What's the body needs? Well, what the cells need. We know water, oxygen, and glucose. How do you get those? Well, you got to get minerals in the water. It ain't just no still water that I'm talking about. It ain't no faucet water that I'm talking about. It ain't no purified water that I'm talking about. This water is natural spring water, well water, right? So if you don't got that, then you replace that with Irish moss and get you seawater, right? So in this seawater is structured water. Only thing that sea moss does, and the only thing it's supposed to be doing, is structuring your water. You don't supposed to be trying to eat no mouse. Ain't nobody been eating no mouse. Ain't no ancient motherfucker. Even in day one, they ain't eating no motherfucking mouse. So I don't even know why y'all eating that sea mouse. I ain't never ate mouse, never will. But I do take mouse. I just know how to take it. I let it structure my water. You structure your water when you see that it'll cool down, it'll become gelatin-like. And that gelatin-like substance is because of the metals that have solidified in the water. Because as a scientist, you'll understand that from a metal to a non-metal bonding, you must have a bonding agent, and water is one of the best ways to get ionization to come from a metal and non-metal combination. Ionization using the water. Okay, that's where you at, baby girl. Got questions, if you want to know about your health, herbs, your tendencies spiritually, physically, then you come holler at me. We'll give you the rest of your reading for a measly funky $50. All right, see cool? All right. So you guys just seen that really quick. People they don't have to go along with this. So when you guys are seeing people actually responding, that's letting you see it. All I'm trying to show you is the efficacy of this old ancient way of healing. Uh, you'll see that it's very, very accurate. The times are accurate, everything. So the reason why I said to live before it, because each one of these life lessons lasts 10 years. Each one of these triangles is a 10 year. So if you got 12 zodiacs and you got 10 years each, then it's 120 years to go through these life lessons. She didn't know why she was on a humanitarian thing like that. Or how in the hell he's supposed to know that between 30 and 40, I was really trying to solidify my workspace, my job, my legacy, my public image. And the Libra also means that she's an Aries. So she always gonna be about her appearance, her self-identity. She can be a little selfish at times, but ultimately she's a very good person and loves doing things with other people. She prefers doing things with somebody else, even though she may find herself by herself. And it's because of that Aryan quality that's in there as well that sometimes it may seem like she's better off by herself. But she actually really does love to be in partnership in tandem with somebody. You just have to meet her on that level. Okay? That's it. See Cuckoo Barrel. So Cuckoo Barrel said, damn, spot on. Yeah, so I mean, it's real simple. I just really want to use this for health, but obviously we know that the Zodiac has always been utilized in an accurate expose about people's lives. But what I'm trying to show you is my concoction, and my concoction is that these are my 10 years, these are my 120 years, And for me to be able to understand that you're in your Aquarian phase, let me know that my years are accurate. Okay, that my years are accurate as to how many years we spend in these lessons. And so that's what we really are watching. Okay, the accuracy of the years, right? Because that's where it becomes my own thing, is how I understood and synchronized and put this stuff together. And that's why this is such a very, very big blessing. And not only you guys that are getting this in your possession, but also it's a big blessing for me. This is how I feed my family. This is how I feed myself. But at the same time, this is what I've done for myself. This is how I operated my business. My business was zodiac themed. I had the air tonic, the fire tonic, the water tonic, the earth tonic. I got the four eliminator detox, right? We got the owner's manual with the NATO blends. I mean, everything is kind of astrological themed. I've been believing in this, right? I've been believing in it, and I've been understanding its efficacy, and I know what it will do in the realm of medicine to medicine, medicine to medicine. A lot of people that are still on high blood pressure medication and are still taking their medications are because they still are dealing with the spiritual side that they don't want to really talk about. But I give them this shit anyway. See, I had a lady call me the other day. And the herbs, I really think they're working, but I haven't been able to get off my high blood pressure medication. I done took your detox and everything, and I just still find that I got a problem with my blood pressure. You know how y'all do. And I said, well, okay, well, so when you was on the detox, you still taking the blood pressure medication? Now, when I was on the detox, you told me not to take my meds or whatever, and so I just did what you said. And so I didn't take it. I didn't have to take it in. My numbers was good. And so I said, okay, so when you was eating good, you were doing what you were supposed to do, and you couldn't take meds, you saw that you did right. But now that you ain't taking the detox no more, you eating good, but it's because you have this anxiety about your blood pressure that we can't get your under control. Because your blood pressure ain't bad because of diet. Your blood pressure ain't bad because of this or that you're doing. Your blood pressure bad because somebody told you got high blood pressure. And you worry like a son bitch about that high blood pressure every day. And it's literally keeping you having high blood pressure. Because high blood pressure is an anxiety condition if you remove the dietary issues from it. Numbers that you systolic and diastolic is only going to tell you two things. One, either it's your diet causing it, one, either it's your anxiety and worry causing it, or it's both. That's what your systolic and diastolic going to tell you. You see? And you see, once I stripped her ability away of having to take it, now you know to keep your ass together. You see what I'm saying? When I strip you of your ability to be able to have to go run to it, then you know to keep your own anxiety in check. Because I ain't got the pill. I can't take the pill. You know what I mean? I'm doing this detox. I gotta eat right. I can't stress because I can't take the pill. Then you didn't even need the pill. When you was made not to take the pill, you didn't need it because you understood. I gotta keep my stress intact because I can't go take this pill because this man want me to do this detox like this. But it was when that wasn't required anymore, you went back to stressing and popping the pill forward. I told her that. Okay, I told her that. So that's what we got to understand. That it's in our ability to adjust these flies to allow us to be what's going on. What do you have them do for anxiety? All you got to do is what we've been teaching. The going outside if it's not a problem for you to go outdoors, doing walks, deep breathing techniques, rest, relaxation, yoga, meditation, Um, there's a slew of things that I would say before you even do herbs, before you even try a pill or do herbs. It's something quite natural that allows you to relax. People know what they can do to allow them to relax. It's just they don't have the time to do it. Now, everybody ain't gonna read no book. You know, some people do read a book, but everybody read a book. But some people know what it is that relaxes. It's just that they don't have that time. And you gotta find the time to relax. Okay? This is about your nature and how to get in tune with your nature by understanding nature. That's how we're doing this. All right. So one more time, let me get a zodiac sign with an A. Let me get a zodiac sign with the A. All right. So Ray SJ, Scorpio 31. Okay. Scorpio 31 is gonna make you be right here, Holmes. Okay. So you right there, your starting point, your finishing point. You gotta make it back here. 10, 20, 31. So you're also in your Aquarian phase, all right? So you're in the same phase as the last person. You're about to carry whole thing, man. You're about giving back, about community involvement, community leadership, things of that nature. Angel, Atari 61. Okay, Atari 61, you're going to be right here. Okay, so your starting point is your finishing point. All right, so Atari is at 61. Then we're gonna map you 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and 1. Okay, so you are 1 year into your Scorpio. Okay, you're 1 year into your Scorpio, but you're in the fall season of life. So this is a time of responsibility. Okay, being responsible, right? And these are three phases of responsibility to be responsible for. One of them will be our relationship. Another one will be how we see transformation within our own self, our ability to, uh, um, you know, I'm gonna say transition from one stance to another, right? That's that Scorpio. That's where you at right now. So you may be looking at going into a joint venture with somebody, or maybe just recently you thought about taking out a loan to do something with somebody. Angel Taurus 61. Okay, Angel Taurus 61. And right here, maybe in the last year or so, you've been thinking about taking out a loan or something for something that you're trying to do in a joint venture with somebody. Okay, that's that Scorpio, right? But that's the fall of life. So those are the things that you got to watch out for. This is a time for you to get your harvest up. That means store up your stuff for retirement because this is a more spiritual phase of life. In a more spiritual phase of life, it's going to require you to be more intuitive. If you're not intuitive in this phase of life, you're gonna be tripping up. Okay, you're gonna be tripping up. All right, Taurus 61. I don't know what she knows. She ain't said nothing. I do like for you guys to do a feedback. I do like for you guys to do a feedback. Hey, okay, Angel, there she go. Angel, you're on point, brother. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I do like for y'all to do a feedback. You were spot on about me, Ray SJ. Thank you, Ray. Okay, thank you. Everybody got health conditions. Anybody got health conditions, put some twos in the chat. All right, I got about, let's get this thing up to 100K, you guys. You keep tapping, I'll keep talking. We got about 77,000, and I got about 12 more minutes with y'all, right? So by the time I get to 6 o'clock, I want to have that up there. All right. Shade the Dawn, Cancer 86. All right, so all my twos in the chat, I'm finna get to y'all. Cancer 86. So Cancer 86 years old. Boom. So this is your starting point. Your starting point is your destination. You got to make it back to here around this circle. Okay. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and 6. So you're literally 6 years into Pisces. Okay. 6 years into Pisces. Now here's the thing. Cancer 86. We're talking about shade of dawn. Okay. Here's the thing. You're here 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. So within the last year, you're going through some transition. You just entered into a life transition. That means a major life event can happen to you between the age of 85 and 95. Now, here's my thing to you is that this is a critical time because you're going from winter back into spring. Okay. So this could be a very crucial time for you to get new life, new energy, new growth and develop a new body, a whole new mindset, right? This could be one of the first big beginnings of your renewal process. But at the end of the time, it could also be a very tragic situation as well. Pisces is a space where a lot of the unknown things have happened. Now, you may have witnessed between 80 to 86 right now. Because you say you 86. Between 80 to 86, shit been happening that you ain't had no control over, just come out of the blue in the last 6 years. Okay? Just in these last 6 years, there been some things going on that you ain't had nothing to do with it, just coming out of the blue. Because you at that time in your life is called the Piscean thing. Pisces is about the unknown. It ain't got nothing to do with what you done. It's stuff that just gonna be happening. That's why I try to inform you guys that this is a spiritual time. So by the time you get to Pisces, you would have been built up your intuitive skill. You can handle that last lesson for winter, which is totally intuitive. Uh-huh. Did y'all just hear what I just said right there, right? Y'all just hear what I just said just then, right? This is a time where it's totally intuitive. So if you ain't got that intuitive, that discerning spirit all the way down pat, some stuff gonna hit you left and right that you ain't have no business knowing and understanding. Okay, but it's a critical time. Shade of done, you can make it through, baby. Just get stronger in the body and in the mind. And if you do need your owner's manual, please feel free to reach out to us, and we'll get you the rest of that information. Okay, I ain't heard wrong yet. I ain't heard wrong yet. Libra 44, Libra 30s. I mean, there's a lot of you guys are the same ages, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I don't really do a whole lot of y'all because y'all saying the same thing. If I don't really call you out, it's because y'all really saying the same thing, and I be hating to repeat myself. A Libra that's 30 years old. Okay, so you're right here, 10, 20, 30, so you're in Sagittarius. The Libra that's 44 years old, 10, 20, 30, 40, and 40. So you're in Aquarius. The Libra that's in Sagittarius, which is the 30-year-old Libra, the Libra that's in Sagittarius, you're all about moving around and traveling right now. You're trying to figure out where you want to live at, okay, where you want to be at in life. You're also into your wisdom phase. So you're very big on learning and teaching new experiences and things of that nature. Sagittarius got you on the move. It's got you on the go, baby. Okay. Now the other Libra that is the 44-year-old Libra that's in Aquarius. You also too are in your community leadership, community involvement phase. Okay, that social awareness, that ability to kind of want to do things for others and be there for people. You know, that's what phase you're in. Okay. Gemini 75. Let's get you on the map. Gemini 75. Okay. So Gemini 75 is right here. The starting line is your finish line. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and 5 years you are in Capricorn. Okay. Gemini 75, you are in Capricorn. So you are in that particular phase where you're starting to um, really kind of check out as far as the workspace is concerned. You're really trying to just wrap those things up. Still trying to make sure you got some stuff structured, got some stuff that is still going to make sure that you are stable in life. But I think that you right now are just big on your reputation, on your public image, last name, how you be seen and viewed and everything like that. But I think right now it's just all about structure and stability. And get that out the way, then you're gonna be well on your way. So at 71 years old, 75 years old, you're also just not coming out of the transition. Okay. So there was a transition there when you were kind of figuring to move around and stuff like that with your job opportunities, or what you wanted to do in order to retire, or whatever the case may be, but you done got through that. Okay, you done got through that little phase, right? And now you on the way. Remember, your biggest thing is to make it all the way back to Gemini. Okay, so a healthy consciousness is just as important as a healthy body. You're in this spiritual time of your life. So I would suggest and recommend you draw things closer to you, be more magnetic, bring work closer to home, bring family closer to home, bring things closer to home so that you don't have to exude a whole lot of energy during these winter seasons of life, because this is a more spiritual time and a lot less physical. So sit your head down somewhere and be okay with sitting down somewhere, okay? And be okay with it spiritual time for you to rest, relax, and rejuvenate your body. Remember that this is an everlasting evolution thing, right? So we want to take these 30 years of rest in this 120 years. To get that 30 years of rest in this 120 years. I need to understand the importance and the relevance of this 30 years of rest in a 120-year bounty. I need to understand the value of 30 years of rest in a 120-year paradigm. Okay? We got to get that. You must understand the value of that rest, that spiritual thing. Foxy P said, I'm an Aries 76 in the hospital now. Let's see what we got going on as far as in the hospital right now. All right, so everybody watch this. Foxy P, 76 in the hospital right now. Aries, right? Let's go ahead and erase this. This is what I like to do. I like to do people like that. Foxy P, if you want to call in, you can. If you want to call in and talk to me live on the thing, if you want to. But these are the people I like to deal with. Aries 76 in the hospital right now. Okay, let's figure out what this hospital visit is all about. Aries, oh, there you go. That's your destination right there. Just the starting point and your finishing point. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, in 6 years. So you're 6 years here into Scorpio. Okay. So off the rip, I'm gonna ask you off the rip, Foxy P, before we even go any further. Okay, we're talking to Foxy P now. Okay, your husband in now? Okay, cool. We're talking to Foxy P now. Doesn't have anything because this is Scorpio. So they're in the Scorpio phase. Is it has anything to do with the prostate? Is it prostate cancer? A prostate issue? Is it reproductive? Let's just go ahead and rule that out. Scorpio is about, Foxy P said yes. This is how we hit it right on the head. You don't know what's going on with him, but I would. He don't know what's going on with him, but mama do. The pastor don't know why, but mama do. Just at that phase of life. And it's in the fall. So things are gonna come and go. Okay? Does that mean that he can't make it out of this? Yeah, it means that he can make it out of this. But all I just simply asked you off the rip was about that prostate. How I know that's about that prostate? Because you told me that you was in the hospital, and I got to know where you at in life to know what's going on. I had to clock you. I had to track you. I put a tracker on his ass. So when you say he in the hospital, and then I track him, I know where he had the car accident at. I know where the accident at. The incident happened in Scorpio in his life. So it must be the incident happened in Scorpio in his body, which is his reproductive system. Scorpio is the reproductive system. Okay. The heart failure is a whole failure is because of the Aries in them. Also, the Aries in them is the heart thing. Because the Aries is the fire sign. The opposite of the Aries is the Libra. The Libra is the kidneys, the excretory system. Okay? So here, we're dealing with the fire signs. This is going to operate the nervous system, the circulatory system, and also is going to be the your muscles, the muscular system. So he was already prone as an Aries to run high, just run high on energy, fire, pineal, attachment issues, self-control issues, the water, the guilt and unforgiveness, the delusion and the loneliness. Go talk to him about those spiritual things, Foxy Pete, and let him come on back. Come on. Anybody else? Especially if you got some stuff going on. If you got some stuff going on, let's put a track on you. Let's put a track on you. Come on, you guys. Let's get us up there. We got about 8 more minutes. We're almost at 100K. You keep tapping, I'll keep talking. Your kidney problems, yeah, that's the Libra in them. Every Aries is a Libra. What happened? But again, if we would have got this a little bit sooner, then I mean, obviously we can help them right now, right? So if you want to go ahead and get your owner's manual, I would suggest you guys get it. Let's go ahead and get the right herbs that he needs in order for him to be able to get well on his way. Obviously, also that comes with this are going to be those spiritual tendencies as well as those physical tendencies that we just talked about and more. But I would suggest you to probably you want to spend that little measly, little funky ass $50 and get you some of that. You're probably gonna need that. Okay. Knee replacement is not a disease, Angel Wisdom. I'm sorry to hear that though, but it's not a disease. Kidney disease, Capricorn 53. So we'll deal with that real quick. And I'll try to get another one in, you guys, for the 100K, okay? Capricorn 53, okay? Capricorn right here, 53. The starting line is the finish line 10, 20, 30, 40, and 3 years into Gemini, okay? You are 3 years into Gemini, all right? See, I am when you get out of the hospital. Okay, yeah, no problem. Okay, kidney disease, Capricorn. Let's find it. Okay. Off the rip, the Capricorn is going to be the earth element. Okay. Earth element. You see this right here? Earth element, the adrenal. The adrenals operate the kidneys. So off the rip, we found it right there, but let's just keep it going. Okay. So off the rip, adrenals sit on top of the kidneys. That's your earth. The other one is the thyroid. Okay. Right? So again, metabolism issues, maybe so that maybe you got some weight issues going on over there. Trust, stress, doubt and trust and stress. Okay. The other part of it is the cancer, right? Because every Capricorn is a cancer, so that's the water element. Delusion and loneliness, that's the pituitary gland. You could be seeing some growth and development issues on the body. Okay. Also, you got the guilt and unforgiveness with the reproductive system. So watch your reproductive organs as well. Okay. And now the fact that you're in Gemini right here speaks to the air element. And so you also want to be conscious of your immune system, autoimmune issues and all that, grief and depression could also set in. Okay. Yeah, so but we found the kidney issue just off the real. from the earth element part of it. Okay, anybody else? Libra 63 with prostate issues, same thing. Libra, right here, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and 3. So right now you're 3 years into Aries, okay? You're 3 years into Aries, right? Um, so that's going to be talking about the central nervous system. But the fact that you're a Libra and you're in Aries, that's your keys, that's your excretory system, the central nervous system, the circulatory system, and your muscle system, okay? So one of the biggest things that you got to watch out for is going to be your immune system, your nervous system, and your digestive system. Okay, off the rip. Okay, off the rip. Now the fact that you're in the prostate issues is going to let me know that this right here is the water element. Okay, that's your water element. So that's water element. There's some guilt and unforgiveness that doesn't happen now. That y'all may care to talk about, you may not care to talk about Gary Simpson, but that's what that's about. Okay. Sharonda Madison, we can do something for that too. Ringing in the ears, meaning you need to watch your blood pressure. From a physical standpoint, it means you need to watch your blood pressure. From a spiritual standpoint, it normally would mean somebody's talking about you or that or something like that. All right. Lung issues, we can handle that. Get your owner's manual. Chronic pain since 15, was in an accident. I'm 68 now. Yeah, because you suffer whiplash, Susan Barr. When you suffer whiplash, Susan Barr, nobody has fixed your vagus nerve. Okay, Susan Barr, nobody has fixed your vagus nerve. You can go and look this up. It's called VAGUS. VAGUS. Okay, and it runs along the side of the neck. Okay, specifically around the size of the C1, C2. The C1, C2, it has no particular ligaments there. Right? I mean, it has no bone there. It's kind of like ligaments so that we can do all that we're doing, right? So when you do that, when you do a whiplash, sometimes it pinches one or two of those vagus nerves, and they never ever look at those things as being a culprit to the issues. And I guarantee you, that's the problem. How do you get your owner's name? Just DM me, Stephanie, and we'll be able to get you the information, right? DM me and we'll be able to get you the information, right? So one of the best things that you can do to kind of shut down the nervous system is to breathe in the nose, out of the mouth, and then when you're exhaling, we want you to accompany your exhalation with a hum, right? So it's just like this. Breathing through the nose, out the mouth, accompanied by a hum, will allow you to exhale longer than inhale. Longer exhalation, more than inhalation will cause the body to send signals through, relax. Another thing you can do is do that while laying on your back and rubbing your stomach. Right over your belly button will also activate parasympathetic nervous system and cause you to rest, relax, get into your meditative mode. All right. Yes, ma'am. Another way that you can find out too, Susan Barr, is you can open up your mouth. Ah, right back there in the back is a little thing called the uvula, right? If it's jumping up and down, it's good to go. If it's leaning to a side, then you'll know which side that vagus nerve having a problem on. Okay. So if it leans to the right side, then that is let you know that's the left side vagus nerve. So the uvula will lean away from the side that's actually the problem. The uvula will lean away from the side that's actually the problem. Now you gotta do is just say ah, and when you make that ah noise, it's gonna make a vibration. It's either gonna go up and down or it's gonna lean or it's going to lean the other way, and that'll let you know which side the vagus nerve is the problem. Okay. Thank you guys very much. I purchased the owner's manual. It actually changed my life. Owner's manual can be used for a lifetime. Oh, we appreciate that. Definitely. Thank you, boss. I'm telling you, that's what it's about. It's a lifetime item that you just purchased for 50 bucks. I mean, is you take it with you, it's your birth certificate. Is back in my day, we used to have them old family Bible. You had a Bible that everybody had passed down that Bible. This is what this owner's manual thing is all about. Okay. This is what this owner's manual thing is all about, you guys. And I'm not asking for donations.